Alabama's the best team in the country. They've won all their games. They're 13-0. Ohio State's a fairly clear number 2 as a conference champion, although Georgia will be a number 2 selection by many and could be by the playoff selection committee at 12-1. Since they did defeat Clemson, they did lose a competitive game against Alabama in the SEC title game. So maybe Georgia is flip-flopped with Ohio State, but what does that do? That just changes their uniforms. Ohio State 2, Georgia 3, and voila, we have yet to address Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I got to tell you, I did not necessarily consider the Irish going into this process. They were not on the top of my mind going into this process. There's not a team on their schedule that is a definite loss or even a probable loss. They've got Wisconsin. They've got USC. They've got North Carolina. Those are the 3 games that really will push them. Let me get to Notre Dame's schedule again here. So it's possible that on opening night at Florida State, that could push Notre Dame. It's possible. It's also possible that people will be questioning, if they're not already, my selection of Notre Dame to make the playoff if they struggle on opening night. But it's a long season. So week 4, Wisconsin in Chicago. That's obviously a monumental game for Notre Dame right there. Then Cincinnati the next week. So back-to-back against Wisconsin and Cincinnati, difficult to deal with there. They do have Cincinnati at home. Even the game at Virginia Tech, after playing Wisconsin and Cincinnati, having to go to Virginia Tech, 3 consecutive difficult games. So they've got USC at home. They got North Carolina at home back-to-back. So I am going out on a limb here, and I brought Notre Dame into the equation with just the 1 loss. And so there you go. Alabama takes on Notre Dame, Ohio State, and Georgia. Those games will look pretty much the way you might expect. So Alabama's going to outclass Notre Dame fairly easily. This Georgia-Ohio State game could be a classic of classics. Georgia, Ohio State, my goodness, I thought this one a little bit. And, this is for entertainment purposes only. So let's understand that. I gave that Georgia-Ohio State game more thought than I gave any of the rest of this. And that took about 15 seconds. And I just figured, I know who JT Daniels is. And of course, Ohio State, if they're going to make it to this point, then CJ Stroud came through, or he got benched very early and Kyle McCord came through. But I'm still not sold on, even though they're going to play well enough to get Ohio State to this point, secondary and linebackers for the Buckeyes going to hurt them in this game. And so you got Alabama and Georgia playing in the national championship game. And one more time, Alabama gets it done.